Hey everyone, this is the actual May games now. Since they come out weekly, I'll have some overlap between the months. Like April didn't really match up well. I'll try to get these videos out in the same month, but just a heads up, it seems like a lot of the games I want to try out are coming out at the end of the month. So we'll get into it now. The game that I wanted to highlight for this month was Cardboard Kings Card Shop Simulator. This is the one that kind of drew the most interest from the clip of the trailers from the Prime Gaming. If you're curious, I'll link the YouTube down below. And that's how I've been choosing a lot of these games. I've been looking for which one looks unique, and this was the one I picked for this month. Came out in 2022, so relatively new game at a price of $20 normally, and you're looking at an average of 3 hours for the story mode. And as the title suggests, it's a card shop simulator. You play as Harry, whose father recently passed away, and you take over his card shop, which is by the seaside. The cards in this game is based off a made-up game called Warlock. Overall, there was decent artwork in the cards. I like the Dark Moon set the most, which I'll show you some here. But I thought they did a really good job of making their own little card art here. Not really much rules in here, but they kind of keep the common and rare card format here. The graphics are very old school, and as you could tell by just looking at some clips you see now, the detail is really on the cards, and you're a card shop simulator, so I expected this. The menu is okay overall. The UI interacting felt weird at times. Setting a card on display sometime wouldn't sync up with my mouse for some reason. But not really a huge complaint in this department. They have things on the side to kind of hide away when you pull up the computer or the binder. That takes up your full screen, but I kind of liked having the fade in and out shelves on the side for your interactions. So I did think it was okay. Just a little more touch up would have been nice. Story was good and kept you in the game. I did enjoy it. It is short, as you can tell, for 3 hours, and the end game is just continuing running the store. I don't think that was really a highlight. Overall, I think the simulator part could have used more detail and figuring out how to value cards. And that's where most of my complaint is. So you'll get news that comes up on the side, and it'll say, like, the beauty cards are going up in 3 days or going down. The blue cards are going to be higher or lower, and these cards are on the ban list. So if you're kind of just following that, and once you get the feel for it, you kind of gets repetitive. It's fun at first, and you're tracking them and trying to buy cards, but after a while, it is the same thing. So the end game, I didn't really think was too great. The story is what keeps you in there, and for a simulator, I felt like the story is what really drove it over the simulation. Running events was cool. I did like that part of the simulator. You do basically when a new set comes out, you can have some interactions there, and you can host tournaments once your rep gets high enough. So I felt like that was cool things you could kind of do. I wish you got to actually play the game or have a little more interaction with the game to help, like, maybe build decks better. You could pick which deck you think would win, but you're kind of just looking at percentages. So I kind of wish there was a more intense card setup here for the card game. The biggest negative I really had was the jokes were a miss for me. They kind of stuck to jokes of the time, which I generally don't like in comedy. And what I mean by jokes in the time, you have the 69 joke. There's a kid that streams that comes into your shop and calls you boomer all the time. Generally, these are things that tend to fade away. Maybe not, but I didn't feel like they will hold up after a while. So the jokes here wasn't too funny. I know some people enjoyed it. I did like the story, so I was able to deal with some of the jokes. But yeah, overall, I was happy I gave it a try, and I do think it's worth, definitely free as always. Free is good. Or getting it on a discount, 20 is a little high, but it's worth checking out. To me, it brought back older memories of when I dealt with Pokemon cards a lot more when I was in school. So I got the card collecting feel back, and if you're into that, you'll like this. Biggest con here is the story is short, since that kind of is driven more than the simulator itself. I kind of wish that was a little bit longer. And I guess the con here would be a little more detail on the whole card values going up and down. But that's all I have for today's game I selected. I'll see y'all next month. Peace.